gunshots, police sirens, and a family's cries disrupt a quiet Saturday morning. The F&M brings out the big guns for last night's North Abaco rally.
See, they lying to you, so have no difficulty lying to them.
A look at the water plant that's saving the government millions. Plus, the Bahamas joined in the celebration for James Bond's 50th anniversary.
Bond. James Bond.
I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Joining us this Saturday evening, another man is dead in the capital as the result of gun violence. Though it's too early to classify it as a murder, it's the third killing on New Providence this week as crime continues to plague the country. Juan McCartney was on the scene and filed this report.
Police say an argument over a woman may have led to the death of Ginny O'Tynes, a 20-something-year-old who was killed in Pinewood Gardens on St. Luke and Buttonwood Avenue this morning. Those were the cries of the loved ones the dead man left behind. Tynes was shot in the head sometime around 9:45 this morning, near the corner of St. Luke and Buttonwood Avenues, according to police. The circumstances that led to his death were not immediately available from police, but NB12 sources and several onlookers say that Tynes was standing outside with his girlfriend when a man he supposedly knew tried to steal his girlfriend's purse. The two men were reportedly involved in an altercation when another man reportedly came to Tynes' aid. For now, police believe that the third man opened fire with a revolver and shot the alleged purse snatcher about the body and inadvertently shot Tynes in the head. Though his connection to this matter is still unclear, police arrested this man at the scene who clearly didn't want to go. At the scene, Superintendent Paul Roll from the Central Detective Unit said all three men know each other and confirmed that the killing stemmed from an argument over a woman. Though he wouldn't say whether any of the men are known to police, he did give us these details.
Preliminary investigation revealed that both of these victims were involved in an argument just off St. Luke Avenue East, where a male produced a handgun, and we believe the intended target was the male that was found at St. Luke Avenue South. He received a gunshot injury to the chest area of the body. He is still alive, and the deceased at this time was in his presence. We have a male in custody for questioning reference to this right now. We've just taken him to the police station where we'll continue investigation from here.
ASP Kipling Roll is the Deputy Commander of the Police Force's Southeastern Division. He also works with Urban Renewal 2.0 in the area. He said that the relaunched initiative is effective, but crime challenges clearly persist.
We are just asking members of the public to continue to assist us with whatever information they have that we can solve these matters and other matters.
You saying urban renewal in this area, this Buttonwood area particularly, lots of murders occurred over the past few years. What's the crime trends looking like in this area?
Well, we've noticed that we've had some crime trends, but with what we can see, it has gone down, and we are continuing to just use our normal patrol and see what we can get out of it from there.
It's unclear if this death will be classified as a murder, so for now, this year's homicide count remains at 89. It was 108 at this same point last year. Reporting for NB12, I'm Juan McCartney.
With just over a week to go until the North Abaco by-election, the campaign trail continues to be an active one. Last night, the Free National Movement held a rally in Cooperstown and brought back former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, whose resignation became effective at the end of August. Ingraham has been pretty much non-existent in the F&M's campaign so far, but last night he appeared just as strong as ever to try and fire up supporters and to make the case as to why North Abaconians should keep the constituency red. Ingraham pointed to the delay in work of the resurfacing of the runway and parking lot at Treasure Key Airport. Ingraham said that the $2.6 million project was good to go before the last election, but he claims the PLP has decided not to move forward, even though asphalt and aggregate have already been purchased by Knowles Construction.
Instead, what they said to Knowles is that they're gonna take $1.5 million of the value of that contract to use for other works in the constituency, because Treasure Key Airport could wait. You heard the Deputy Prime Minister talking about some road works he intends to carry out in Abaco. Well, he planned on using the money from Treasure Key Airport to put that sand and seal in Marsh Harbour, Dundas and Murphytown.
Ingraham said that the Christie administration also has yet to give the final green light for the Chinese Harbor Company to build the North Abaco Port and the Angel Fish Creek Bridge.
The Chinese embassy informed the government on the 13th of June this year, 1 month after the election, that we are now ready to begin disbursing the loan, and the contractor is now ready to start work. All is required to be done is for the government to make the first payment, as was agreed. Instead, nothing happened. Some of you already had your houses identified the Chinese going to rent. Plenty construction jobs. Plenty local purchases. And when it's finished, customs, immigration, police, custom brokerage firms, marina, boat storage facility, gas and diesel, security persons, goods from Florida for North Abaco landing right down here, because we got deeper water than Marsh Harbour Port. But no, they stopped it.
Ingraham said the Chinese government is probably unhappy with the delay. Efforts to contact the Minister of Works for an update proved fruitless this afternoon. But Ingraham wasn't just there to talk development. He also came out to support Greg Gomez, the party's candidate, who stumbled badly when he was interviewed by The Guardian earlier this week. Ingraham admitted Gomez made mistakes in the interview, but said he's young and his heart is in the right place. He urged Abaconians to give Gomez the votes they gave him.
Give Greg this shot. I will be even more in your debt if you give F&M the balance of my term. Vote F&M and stay together. We will blacken the PLP's eye. We will send them back to town with their heads hung low. We will say to the Bahamas that Abaco is able to stand. That we are different, distinctly different. No one can come here and frighten us, intimidate us, cause us to do anything we don't want to do. We are F&M.
North Abaco, tonight I stand before you and I ask you to send me to Parliament so that I can keep the government's feet to the fire. We know, we here in Abaco know what we are entitled to. And we want what belongs to Abaco. Hubert Ingraham showed us how it's done. He delivered for us even when the PLP fired him. They expelled him from their party for standing up against corruption. But guess what? They could not silence him, and they will not silence us.
In other news, after much resistance from vendors at Arawak Key and Potters Key Dock and threats from the government to shut down their stalls, both sides have reached an agreement on how to settle the outstanding lease payments to operate their booth businesses at the respective locations. About a month ago, Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources V. Alfred Gray had threatened to have those vendors shut down, saying many of them had gotten away for too long without paying the government what is due. He had given them until the middle of September to either pay up their overdue rent or make payment arrangements. Some vendors refused to pay, saying they did not make enough money to settle the excessive arrears, some as much as $50,000. At a press conference yesterday, Gray said that he recently met with vendors again and they've all agreed to pay, and in some cases have already started making monthly payments towards what they owe.
Some of those arrears amounted to almost $40,000. And for the vendors at Arawaki, it was agreed that they paid $200 on their arrears whilst they kept their leases current. And for the vendors at Petoskey, it was agreed between them and us that they would pay $100 on their arrears and keep their leases current.
Gray said he has made it clear to the vendors that they are expected to remain compliant until their balances are paid in full while keeping their leases current.
I can tell you that I am very pleased with the responses which we have gotten since that time. And the preliminary position, which I saw just yesterday, suggests that there are just a handful, and no more than 5 or 7, I understand now, that have not entered into any arrangements yet, but they had agreed to do so by the end of the month, which was day before yesterday or a few days ago. So they may have done it by now.
Arawaki vendors are told to make their payment arrangements at the Department of Lands and Surveys on East Bay Street, and Porter's Key Dock vendors are told to make their payments at the Ministry of Agriculture.